Hi, YouTube family. Auntie is here. Patty Jackson. I'm your auntie of pop culture. We start with a hug because you never know who's going to need a hug. Get this hug in. It's not cute not knowing. And now we're going to know. Actor Michael K. Williams, who died last year, we know him from The Wire and Boardwalk Empire, Lovecraft Country, an amazing actor. And boy, were we shocked when he died from a drug overdose. They have caught the 4 men involved. See, when Michael K. Williams lived in Brooklyn, he didn't live in the hood part of Brooklyn. He lived in the nice, where they have cameras everywhere in these fancy apartments. They were able to get a really good look at the men. They have footage of the transaction of the drugs and the money and the heroin that Michael K. Williams bought. It was laced with fentanyl. And let me tell you something, they're putting that fentanyl in everything. In the weed that people are out here smoking, the heroin that people are buying, the meth that people are using. So you have to be careful. They have arrested those 4 guys, and they are from Brooklyn. They've been charged in his murder. Big honor for Will Smith and Aunjanue Ellis, who played the wife. They starred in the movie King Richard, about the life of Richard Williams, the father of Venus and Serena Williams. The BAFTA Awards are the British version of the Academy Awards, and they don't really be nominating a lot of African Americans in these, things here. I know Tessa Thompson got nominated for Passing, but it is a big honor for Will Smith. And let me tell you something. I know he's getting nominated for an Academy Award. I know it. The nominations come down next week. I know he is. The movie King Richard, which is good, just a little long. I like to tell y'all when the movies are just a little long. It's out on DVD, so there's no excuse for you not to see it. Aunjanue Ellis, when she played Maddie Moss Clark, that woman is something else. She was in the movie Ray. She's an incredible actress, and to see her, this honor is a big deal, and I see her getting nominated for an Academy Award as well. Another great thing about Will Smith is his book. That book, Will, is good. And the audio version. If you get the audio version, you will be laughing out loud as he tells these stories. If you were a fan of Scream, the sequel, it's coming. They're going to start filming. Do you know when they released Scream? I didn't even realize it was new. I said, they're releasing it again? They said, no, it's a whole new screen. And they brought back some of the old characters. Ghostface is still popular. It made millions, close to 50 million at the box office. So, there's going to be a sequel to Scream. It's coming out maybe next year, but they're going to start filming it this summer. Tonight on ABC, Soul of a Nation. I love this series, and they stream it on Hulu. Screen Queens Rising, as they talk to prominent African-American actresses, including Halle Berry, Tessa Thompson. Halle says even though she won an Academy Award, she still feels the need to prove herself. Also, the murder of Malcolm X, Byron Pitts. What's up, Byron? Over there at ABC News. It's a discussion about the men who were wrongly convicted of murdering Malcolm X. 55 years later, they still have not found who murdered the civil rights icon. But tonight, it's a discussion, and I believe we're going to see the entire cast revealed with Oprah Winfrey about the Color Purple movie musical. Whoopi Goldberg is upset that she's been placed on suspension about the Holocaust remarks. I think she needs this cooling time because she's ready to tell them, I'm out. I don't think she's going to leave, but she's mad and she needs to calm down. I think everybody needs to go to their corner. I think this 2-week period is good, but she's not getting paid to sit out. She's losing something like $192,000. So you can kind of see why she's mad. Spike Lee is teaming up with ESPN for a new documentary on Colin Kaepernick, the NFL player who was exiled from the NFL. And he was exiled. The kneeling. And it's so interesting how years later you see why dude was kneeling and encouraging others about the whole kneeling controversy. His story through his eyes. Spike Lee's directing it, teaming up with ESPN. Ava DuVernay, who did the Netflix Colin in Black and White, You got to see her on the cover of the March edition of Allure magazine. She looks amazing. An incredible woman and director, and watching her rise. But she is doing it with this. Nick Cannon says he's going to be celibate. At the beginning of the week, a lot of people were shocked because he announced, he's having an 8th baby. But 2 months ago, his 7th baby died. There are people who say, well, he can afford it, but you need more than that to be a parent and to have different baby mamas. It's crazy. Raising a child is serious. And I'm going to tell you something. It's not being fun after the baby shower. Then reality sets in. A child needs more than material things. They need love and attention. Attention. Kids need that attention to be a very good parent. You can have all these baby mamas, but everybody ain't meant to be a parent. So I'm glad he's taken a chance to prove he's in therapy. And they was like, you need to slow down. So now he said he's going to actively practice celibacy. Now he started after he realized he got this other girl pregnant. Either practice celibacy or wear a condom, because your stuff is strong. You are populating the earth. But Nick, think about that decision. Being a parent is something that you can't take lightly. You can't have a baby to keep a man. It don't hold no man. It don't hold no marriages together. You are dealing with an individual who is completely different from you. You hope that, can you just act like me when you grow up? They're different. And what you're dealing with in dealing with a child and another individual that you're responsible for, at least until they're 18 years old, parenthood is serious. And not everybody is built for it. If you're selfish, you ain't meant to be nobody's parent. If you got a problem with your temper, you ain't got no business being a parent. There's a lot of people, they don't need to have kids because they can't. They can't deal with it. And it's a lot that goes into it. At the beginning of the week, we were shocked hearing the death of the former Miss USA, Chesley Christ. Her mom is talking. She committed suicide over the weekend, 30 years old, and she leaped from the 29th floor of a building that she lived in. Chesley's mom says that they knew her daughter suffered from depression and that she was dealing with high-function depression. What's that? That's the depression where you put on a happy face and you let everybody know, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. You want to make everybody else happy, but deep down, you're suffering from depression and you're just going on. And when you go to her IG page, you're just thinking, wow, you get to interview all these stars. You're having a fabulous life. You're beautiful. Da-da-da-da-da. But she was battling depression, and ultimately, she killed herself. Depression is real, and it comes in many forms, and it could come at any time in your life. I know exactly why I had a stroke. Not only was I not taking care of myself, but I couldn't deal with the fact that my mother was dying. I was in denial. When they told me about hospice, I told them, I don't want to hear about this. They looked at me like I was crazy, and so did my niece, who were like, what's wrong with you? I would cry on the way to work, right? And it was time to get out the car. I'd fluff up the lashes and do this and come in like everything is just fine. There's a mask I put on to come to work, to be happy, play music, tell stories. But inside, I did not know, and I never wanted to admit, I'm really sad. I can't deal with this, with what's going on with my mom dying. And 2 weeks after she died, I had a stroke because I kept everything in. I didn't want nobody to see me cry, see me in pain. That was very hard for me, and that's that dumb pride thing. High function depression is real. It is real. And so many people go through it. Every day is not going to be a great day or a period in your life. Loss of a child, parents, job. Maybe you don't know what you want to do with your life. But depression is real. And I think we got to stop being afraid of taking the mask off and saying, I'm not okay. Suicide is real. We discuss it in my latest podcast, Patty and the Millennials. This is a really good conversation. You see, there's men, there's women. I'm the baby boomer, millennials, Gen X, and we talk. And at first it was difficult, and they were like, why we got to talk about this? I said, we must talk about suicide because it's something that's happening at an alarming rate, particularly among young people. So we hit it from all angles, and it was a great conversation. You can find us, Pandora, Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio Podcasts. It was a really good conversation, Patty and the Millennials. But if you know someone who may be going through depression, thinking about suicide, there is someone you can talk to. I'm a big person, you know, pray on it. When you have problems, pray on it. But there's a number. It's 1-800-273-8255. 1-800-273-8255. I know y'all saying, you schizophrenic. The other day, you was just clowning. I know, you get a little bit of everything. I'm not going to cry, though. But depression is real, and sometimes you got to talk about things that really, really affect us. Don't be afraid to admit being depressed is nothing to be ashamed of. There's nothing to be ashamed of admitting that you're depressed. And if you need someone to talk to, if you feel that life is just too much, 1-800-273-8255 and prayer, because it actually works. Leave a comment. Auntie reads the comments. Give us a thumbs up if you like the video. We're going to talk Color Purple movie musical tomorrow. We're going to talk about Fat Tuesdays, the comedy on Prime Video, which is going to start streaming. So there's a lot of good stuff. Single Black Female, Saturday night on Lifetime. So there's a lot of good stuff that we will be going over. Thanks so much for joining me. I appreciate you. I'm Patty Jackson. I'm your auntie of pop culture.